Welcome to Pittsburgh, Izaiah Gathings. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers have signed another tight end to the roster, and this time it's Izaiah Gathings after he had a tryout Wednesday morning. So, this is according to NFL insider Aaron Wilson, and the Steelers also confirmed this report as well. Just going over Izaiah Gathings, who he is, what he has come from, his past background, and maybe what he could bring to the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is his introduction. But before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like the video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, Gathings, he's a wide receiver and a tight end. In college at Middle Tennessee State in 2021 and 2022, he was a wide receiver. Before going undrafted in 2023, he signed with the New York Jets as an undrafted free agent before landing with the Kansas City Chiefs ahead of training camp. The Chiefs cut him before the start of the season and signed him to the practice squad in December. So he was a wide receiver in college, but in the NFL level, he was a tight end. And looking at Izaiah Gathings, he measured in at 6'3" and 233 pounds coming out of college at Middle Tennessee State. But now on his NFL profile, he's listed as 6'4", 222 pounds. And looking at his size in terms of his wingspan, it is 80 1/8 inches. And also looking at his 40-yard dash time, he ran a 4.67 40-yard dash with also adding in a 36-inch vertical jump. Looking at Gather's college career, he played college football at Middle Tennessee State, where he caught 60 passes for 559 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2022. In 2 seasons there, he played in 24 games total, finishing with 84 receptions for 861 yards and 3 touchdowns. But however, he started and began his college career at Gardner-Webb, where he appeared in 24 games and had 101 receptions for 1,341 yards and 13 touchdowns. His best game of his college career came in the final season in 2022 in college, where he put up 11 receptions for 92 yards and also against Colorado State. Now, looking at Izaiah Gathings during his preseason NFL career, in 2023, he played it with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he played 32 snaps total. He graded out at a 54.7 overall PFF grade, including 69.6 as a pass blocker and also 60.4 as a run blocker. In total, he had 2 targets and he brought in 1 pass for 5 yards in a 33-32 win over the Cleveland Browns in the preseason finale. So, those are his statistics in terms of college and the NFL level. Now, looking at Gathings, he joins the Pittsburgh Steelers roster that right now is very, very deep at the tight end position under offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. Right now at the tight end, they have Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Connor Heyward, Ronnie Williams, Michael Pruitt, and now they sign Izaiah Gathings. So obviously that's a position that the Pittsburgh Steelers really are taking a deep look at and a position that they value a lot. Having 6 tight ends on the roster right now, when they usually only keep 3 on the final roster, is really showing what they're trying to do at the tight end position in terms of pass blocking and run blocking. Under offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, he uses the tight ends a lot. Not necessarily in terms of a lot in the passing game, in terms of catching passes, because you could look at Jonnu Smith, you could look at Kyle Pitts, and you could say they haven't put up too much production in Atlanta in terms of catching the ball, but he uses them as like a variety of players, as a group, as a unit. He just doesn't use one player specifically at the tight end spot. He uses a lot of tight ends, and he's doing so again this season in Pittsburgh. He used Kyle Pitts, he used Jonnu Smith in the passing game, and he also had Michael Pruitt as well last season in Atlanta, and he used 3 tight ends a lot. So that means right now the Steelers usually only keep 3 tight ends. You could expect now they may even keep 4 tight ends on the roster just by looking at how Arthur Smith uses the tight end position in his past as an offense coordinator and head coach with Atlanta Falcons. So even though Steelers usually keep 3, expect maybe they keep 4 this season with a new OC. And that means that even though there's 6 people on the roster right now at the tight end spots, that means 4 of them could make it, but 2 would end up getting cuts and maybe going to the practice squad. And we all know injuries happen throughout the year. Stuff happens, and people have to get called up from the practice squad. So even though I believe Izaiah Gathings, he won't be on the final roster in terms of the 53-man roster, it doesn't mean he can't still find a spot on this team on the practice squad. And that is a part of the team. Because if someone gets injured, if something goes wrong, you may have to play in a couple games. You may have to be elevated from the practice squad to the main roster. And also, Ronnie Williams and Gathings look like they may be on the outside in terms of getting cut early on in terms of the 4-man group, just because Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, Connor Heyward, those guys are not going to get cut. And if I were to guess, McCole Pruitt, just based off his past history with Arthur Smith, the comfort level there between the two, because he was on Atlanta with him, he may not get cut as well. So that's why I would say Ronnie Williams and Gathings would be on the outside. So Gathings, he joins the Pittsburgh Steelers not as someone who's going to come in and be a huge difference maker at the position, but this is his introduction to the team. Every new player that we get, I've done this introduction, giving you my thoughts on the player, giving the past statistics, basically the introduction, past background and everything like that. So Gathings, he may not be a main roster type of player, but he's going to come in, do his best, be a camp body. Yes, camp body. What does that mean? Well, obviously the Steelers do training camp and things like that, and they go offense versus defense, first team, second team, third team. So Gathings, he may be on the third team. He may be on the second team sometimes, getting reps against the defense, just giving another body out on the field, going through the motions, going through the drills, going through the preseason. Sometimes the Steelers sit some players in the preseason finale, so Gathings might get extra playing time in the preseason. And that just shows more film for other teams. Even if this film in the preseason is not specifically for the Pittsburgh Steelers, keeping him on the roster, showing out in the preseason could get him a job on a 53-man roster on a different team. So it's all about showing out and being someone who could be relied upon and just showing your skill set at the NFL level. So that's all what Gathings is going to have to do with the Steelers now. And what from I have seen, they signed Gathings to around a $700,000 contract. So that means that it's not taking up any cap space in terms of the money towards the cap, the dead cap, or anything like that. They basically use no cap space in making this move. And also, I'm pretty sure this is the last player they could sign to their roster. They're now at the limit of players that they could have. So obviously, they've been signing some players in the recent weeks. They signed 2 running backs, and now they sign a tight end to cap off their roster. So now if they want to sign someone else, they're going to have to cut a player and sign a different one. But this is using no cap space, and it's also using the final roster spot the Steelers have had on the roster. So Izaiah Gathings, he comes over from previously playing with the New York Jets and the Kansas City Chiefs, and now he's a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's not a player who has past experience at a very high level in this league, mostly just preseason, so he doesn't have the statistics to back him up in terms of getting a job on the 53 or even the team in general, so he's really going to have to earn everything. He's not coming in with the best stats, so every single snap, every single drill, every single meeting, he's going to have to earn everything with this team and at the NFL level. So, Izaiah Gathings, this is introduction, past history, what he could do for this team, but this is his introduction to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the signing of Izaiah Gathings as a tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you like it? Do you think they should have used the final roster spot somewhere else on a different position? And is there still someone out there in free agency that you want the Pittsburgh Steelers to sign? But overall, just let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the signing of Izaiah Gathings. Do you think he'll make the 53? Do you think he'll get cut? But do you think he'll make the practice squad? Or is overall this is just a camp body? Let me know your thoughts. And also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates player signings, every new player we've signed. I've done this introduction, introducing them to you. They're on the channel. Go ahead and check it out. And if we continue getting more players in terms of cuts, signings, trades, whatever, I'll cover it all. And every single news in terms of Steelers offseason, regular season, I'm covering it as well. All the highlights, all the analysis of OTAs, training camp, everything. I'm covering it. So turn on notifications and subscribe to the channel, and also like the video. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.